Nope. Just doing a live stream. Yeah.
You doing live stream?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. Isn't it fantastic what they're doing?
Right. Yep.
It's the first time I'm here.
Oh, okay. 2 years here, so.
Oh yeah?
I've seen it a few times.
Okay. Were you there at the lounge?
No, I was not in town during that time.
Darn it.
I've seen another one though.
Okay. Very cool. Pretty impressive. Well, enjoy.
You too. Thanks. All right, everybody. Yeah, just doing a live stream tonight. I don't really have much to talk about. It's been about 8 days. 8 days, I believe, since I chatted. Hey, Liam. This gentleman over here in that car up there, first day here. I wanted to get maybe a shot of the over here as well. And there is, I want to showcase, I put a comment earlier this morning about, you know, them hiring lots of people. They hired a whole bunch of welders. And I know that because I went for a welding test yesterday, which I did not pass because I did something wrong in the very beginning. But they're hiring welders from contractor companies. You can see there's vehicles everywhere. And even way down by the dunes, it's mostly filled up with trucks. So they have at least 2 shifts, 2 12-hour shifts, starting at 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening. And they're going to be working for the next 3 weeks. So they brought in a whole bunch of extra help from outside to most likely get the launch pad set, fixed, and welded all back together again. On the 8th day, Paul rose again. I like that. Let me get in the shot here too. Is that what happened with Jesus and everything else? On the 8th day, I re-arose. 8 days ago was my last live stream. Was the last live stream. Get the shot here. Kind of an interesting. Oh yeah, Aiden says road closure tomorrow. That is written. I did see that before doing this. I checked on that, and there's another one scheduled for Thursday as well. But what I think is those are probably going to get canceled, and I say that because they just brought in all this help here, and there's no reason that I can think of why they would have a road closure and still have all these people on the paycheck just sitting around waiting for the road to open. So I don't know if it's going to be a real road closure tomorrow. I would imagine they could cancel it and then cancel it the next day. I think maybe whoever's making the road closure plans wasn't on the loop about all the extra help they were going to be hiring, because they just hired a tremendous number of people here, and it's going to go for 3 weeks. So I get it in the other direction. You can see their cars all along the left side of the wall up there, and it's packed. Yeah, the road closure is still listed, but there was a road closure scheduled for today too, which they canceled. So I don't know. You know, I haven't really been around the site that much, so I don't know what's going on. But I can see it if they didn't coordinate all the hiring of the new people they were planning to bring in and the road closure. Maybe they're just out of the loop. It's kind of a nice shot of the sun setting. The sun set around 20 minutes ago. Yeah, it is pretty busy, Alan. I know of a Matt McKeithen. I think it's something in McKeithen in Faber, Virginia. Yeah, they are gearing up, so that's kind of that's a good point there, Liam. Yeah, you know, Elon I think said 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. Originally he said about 2 to 3 months, and then about a couple weeks ago he said 6 to 8 weeks or something, I believe. So this would be confirmation of them planning to do something soon, you know. sooner than next year. You know. Yep. Thanks, Kensington. I know that because I'm a welder too, and I went for the stainless steel welding. I drove up to Corpus Christi 2 days ago, and I slept over, and I took the test yesterday in Corpus Christi to be a welder with a group called STI Group, and they would have they're a contractor for SpaceX for welding, and they called me out of the blue like on Friday last week. And then I showed up on Monday for the drug test and the weld test, and I'm a decent carbon welder, but I messed something up with the stainless steel welding. I took the cap off the. I'd seen a lot of YouTube videos where they talk about, you know, you take the cap off the flux core welder, but that's only in the instance where there's no CO2 needed. So I took off the CO2 cap in the very beginning of the test, and that gave me a lot of bad welding on the first on the root passes, and then that was it for me. So next time I will not take off the cap on the flux core welder, and I'll probably do much better on the next test. But the pay rate is $37 an hour if you're a independent contractor, and if you're from out of state, if you're from over 60 miles away from SpaceX here in South Texas, they do a per diem also on top of the $36 or $7. I think it's like 36, or I'm not. It may have been 37 an hour. That was pretty good wages for 3 weeks. I will most likely be going with another employer in about a week. I might go up to Iowa and do some work up there. Yeah, that would have been cool. Yep, I would have been here on site. I was thinking maybe I get in front of these cameras before I walk onto the job site, but I lost that opportunity. I messed it up. So, whatever. So this is still Starship 25 here, and there was someone walking by. There were some methane tankers here about a week ago, and so I know they did bring in some methane. I didn't see tons of trucks. So, and then the orbital tank farm is ready. They have all the, I'll go back to that shot over there at the orbital launch platform. I mean the tank farm. With the yellow turtle lights up there. There are some green lights in the bays where the trucks unload around this corner. So they have reactivated, it looks like, that whole tank farm over there. I have not seen any methane tankers over there, but I have been here almost every night for the last few weeks, if not several months. But so I have been here, even though I haven't been live streaming. There hasn't been much to showcase on these videos, but keep an eye out as long as I'm around. But so the right after the initial launch, there was a bunch of damage done to the back row of these tanks, and they did repair them. If you look back a few days into the videos that were uploaded around June 10th or 11th, over the last 8 days, I've uploaded some videos showcasing the back in 4K imagery, and you can see they have almost stinted those tanks, and they have filled in and capped over the brakes and the exterior thermal protection, because there is on many of these tanks, for example, down here by the LOX tanks and the liquid nitrogen tanks in the center there, they're double sleeved. So there's an inner tank and then there's an outer tank, and the outer tank has a bunch of perlite in between the outer tank and the inner tank for temperature kind of stuff. So it wasn't super detrimental that these got broken into. So I believe they just welded it shut banged it out as I suggested they might do. I don't know if they banged it out or what, but it is now a flat surface on this backside, and they have some almost stint like pieces of metal bracing it so it doesn't collapse in on itself. So, but all the bays around this corner have these green lights on the bottom. So the orbital tank farm does appear to be back in service 100%. We haven't seen tons of tankers coming down here. Like, we haven't seen 9 tankers all at once, but we have been seeing over the last several days a few tankers here and there offloading liquid nitrogen, and I even believe I saw a liquid oxygen tanker recently. But if we look back up to the the tower here, still we're sticking with these white flashing lights for the planes, but they haven't yet gone back to the green lights on the tower. So this is still being worked on, and the orbital launch platform is still being worked on. But with all these welders around here, we can see there is, I believe I saw the elevators maybe up around this the quick disconnect area right now. So maybe the welders, the different new temporary staff they brought in are using the that elevator that we saw get reactivated about a week ago to do the work that needs to be done to the top areas of the different areas around the orbital launch platform and tower. Yeah, pulled them out like a car body repair. Yeah. I get a little bit better shot. Now that nighttime's coming around, the light here at the entrance to the main gate for the launch, what is it called? The launch site, for the launch site is on, so it's making it more difficult to see around the tower there. I did get a little shots with the Nikon camera briefly of something, I think it was this morning, but it wasn't long enough or interesting enough for me to upload it. Hey, Jimmy Z. Nice. I get a few different shots here. I may even move the tripod a little bit and get a little slightly different shot. So they have that light on by the main entrance. Hey, Ken. I looked up also before doing this live stream. There is the moon is up here, and I'm not sure. Maybe someone can tell us to the top left here in the northern hemisphere. What is that? Is that Venus or is that Mars? Let me see. Okay, so we got the moon there. I believe we can see the moon here. Yeah, that's the moon. And yeah, right up there. So we're looking in the northern hemisphere. I looked it up with the star tracker type thing, and that is either Venus or it is Mars. Just right there. What is that? What planet? It doesn't look like reddish to me or darker yellow. I believe sometimes that means it's Mars. It doesn't look super bright to me like sometimes Venus does look. Let me zoom in a little bit. I'm not sure. Anyway, they're the two, those two planets and the moon are currently in the Cancer area of the sky. For those of you into astronomy or astrology, we're looking into toward the Cancer constellation. Good shot left of the tank farm. Yeah, I was considering doing some live streaming from down there by the orbital launch platform, but yeah, they are in close proximity. Jiminy says, "Yep." I don't think it's Jupiter, Phil, because I looked with the star. I got like an app that shows the different planets and stuff, and it didn't have Jupiter in that area. So it's almost. I'm almost 100% sure it's either Venus or Mars. I'm gonna move to the right here and we'll get a shot of the base of the launch platform. Whoop, sorry about that. For those of you watching some of the other streams, infinity. That was the infinity shot. Two cameras looking at the same spot. I mean, this might be a good spot. Just a minute. Yeah, it is a nice evening. One of the special things about being here tonight is that I have yet to see any mosquitoes. It has not rained in quite a while. This is not a rain dance that I'm doing, but it has not rained, and it is beautiful, beautiful weather. The workers here really have a good time going on right now because of the low insect population. Yeah, so that is the we're getting some wind here now that we don't have the wall protecting us right now. This is the orbital launch platform for the SpaceX South Texas launch site. Orbital, as opposed to suborbital, which is the Starship is on the suborbital pad right now, pad B. But we are looking at the orbital launch platform. If you're new to the show, I've been doing video down here since March 1st of 2021, and my name is Paul Mamakos, Paul S. Mamakos. I've done about 1,800 videos over the last 2.5 years. I've had some good times here, I've had some bad times, but mostly good times, and had a lot of fun talking with the community and doing something new in my life. Okay, they had a sweeper, street sweeper, and backpack blowers around Starship 25 today. Doing a spin prime maybe, huh? Static fire? All right, interesting. Well, it'll be interesting if they do a road closure, and if they move all these workers out and have them work at the build site, or have them take a day off, how that'll look, how that'll turn out. I am game. The road closure tomorrow is scheduled for 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be June 21st, 2023, the summer solstice for the Northern Hemisphere. It won't be the summer solstice for South Texas, but for the Northern Hemisphere in general, that is a date of celebration. I will throw in a snippet here that the length of the day on Earth is 24 hours, as many people know. But I believe the length of the day on Enceladus, for those of you interested in the moon around Saturn called Enceladus, is, I believe, around 32 hours. So if you're running out of time, you don't have enough time in the day to do everything you would like to do, perhaps you could move at least onto Enceladus time, a 32-hour time zone, and have more time in the day to get what you need to do done. Okay, I'll zoom out. We'll get some other shots of the tower here. Looks like I got something on the camera lens, but let me fix the lens of the camera a little bit. Still got a streak going on there. Anyway, it does a little bit better. I don't know how many of you are on Twitter, but we had some Space Ocean Corp. We had some interesting times today on Twitter, and it's a good thing when we reach out and we make connections. Check us out on Twitter today if you would like to see June 20th, 2023, some interesting conversations. one of the main things that sets this company apart from some other companies is that the foundation of this company is different from most space companies. Most space companies are run by atheists or agnostics or possibly even anarchists, but Space Ocean Corp is based in a, at least I, who am part of Space Ocean Corp, have a ecumenical approach and believe in a higher power, or believe in the existence of life. And in my worldview of life, life is not something that gets created or is destroyed. And I don't believe there's any building blocks for life. So those are some main differences between Space Ocean Corp and almost any other space company out there you'll find. I am not a seeker, S-E-E-K-E-R, seeker. A lot of people are sick, or they're seeking something, or they don't believe in something, but I am an ecumenical person, and I believe that there is an afterlife, and I believe there is no end to life. So I'm not searching for life in the universe, because I believe there's not a single place in the universe where there isn't life. So for me, it's a little bit childish to be searching for life in the universe, but if you would like to find life as most people consider it, walking around in a body or something like that, well, that'll be interesting if we can capture that on video camera. But as far as I'm concerned, as being a meditator for over 20 years, I'm a world-class meditator, which means I have found what most people are searching for and seeking. So I'm not a seeker anymore, because I have found the pearl of wisdom that many of the alchemists talk about. And that pearl of wisdom is, if you were searching for it, to be found in the area of consciousness. And there are many, many talks that I've done in the past on this YouTube channel about consciousness. But one of the interesting things about consciousness is that it cannot be demonstrated or proven with mere talking. So everything I have spoken about on this channel over the last 2.5 years is merely a signpost saying that there might be something in that direction, almost like a book that you might read, with someone giving their personal accounts about consciousness. And so anyway, it's worth noting, and if you browse through this channel over the last 2.5 years and 1,800 videos, you might find some gems that have some meaning. But that is the foundation of the creation of this space company, Space Ocean Corp, originally named Ocean Camera Space Corp, because the goal of this company is not to go to an asteroid. It is not to get water from pebbles on the moon. It is not to perform one little mission, but the goal of this company is to transform society and humanity and inspire humanity with visible imagery, not in the visible spectrum, not confirmed, not evidence. We're not looking for evidence in the universe that there might be life, like many scientists are content to do, and they spend their whole life searching for evidence of life. The goal here is to take video imagery of water, because we know that there's life everywhere in the universe and there's no reason to search for it. And the reason I know this, again, is because I have personal experience that there's not a single place in the universe where there is no life. So I'm what you might call an adept, A-D-E-P-T. Many of the Illuminati and some of the secret special projects and different think groups around the world seek to become a knower, and so they're still seeking. And in that seeking, they join Illuminati groups, which means kind of hidden knowledge. But again, many of the lower classes of these adepts are just novices. They're just beginners on the spiritual path of knowledge. So the different levels of Illuminati are basically those who don't know. Everybody who has not yet reached the understanding of universal knowledge is merely an adept. So you'll find a lot of very bad understanding when it comes to the Illuminati circles around the globe. And many of these Illuminatis are also in the space program. And that is one of the reasons why they create these special secret projects to go into the stars and to the other moons and planets. And that is probably also why they make certain areas off limits. And it's also why they have special security clearances if you want to join NASA and some of the other secretive aerospace companies. So that's what differentiates us here at Space Ocean Corp from some of the other companies that you might find here on the Earth in 2023. So we're not Satanists, we are not agnostics, we're not anarchists, we're not atheists. I personally am a knower that there is life everywhere in the universe. And what's interesting about this life that someone who might become a real seeker will find is that life is connected. Some of the Native Americans, and I believe even some of the other Aboriginal cultures around the globe, used to say that you can believe whatever you would like to believe, but if you believe that there is a connection that our destinies are linked in our paths and our lineages cross, and that the other person across the table matters, if we have a connected future, not only in this life but in every other lifetime that we have lived and will live throughout all of existence, if our life and our consciousness is interlinked, and will never be severed from now until the next moment that you think about this, for the entire existence of creation. And again, creation was never created, so it's a poor term, but maybe existence is a better word. So throughout all of existence, we will always be connected, because when you have only one individual in the whole universe, which makes up the universe, that individual does not have the opportunity to be severed from itself. Consciousness is something which is the most base and subtle layer of the universe. That being said, consciousness is everywhere throughout the universe, just as there is energy everywhere. For there to be anything in existence, existing is life. So if there is existence, if there is life, if there is energy, if there's matter, then there is life. And since there is life and energy everywhere throughout the universe, you exist everywhere in the universe. So it's not possible for you to sever yourself from consciousness, because the only thing which you are is consciousness. So awareness is what differentiates you in the body that you're in from every other body that you're in. So in the body that I occupy at the moment, the consciousness in this body calls itself Paul, P-A-U-L, and the consciousness, which is me, operating in the body that you're over there in, is called, fill in your name. So the consciousness, your consciousness, is over here in the body that's speaking right now on this live stream, and it's also in the body that you're in, also thinking about what's being said here on this live stream. So the consciousness is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, which means it's unbroken, and it is everywhere throughout the universe simultaneously, and it is the only thing in existence. Your consciousness is the only thing in existence. And the thing that makes it your consciousness is your personality, your name, and your local history. Just like on a personal computer, the hard drive is what differentiates the internet operating through the computer that you're sitting in versus the computer that I'm sitting at here doing this live stream. So the only difference between consciousness in the locale that is listening to this voice and the locale which is speaking this message is the local memory, but the consciousness is everywhere simultaneous. So there's no possibility from now until forever for you to ever get severed from yourself, from consciousness, because consciousness is not something that comes and goes with different bodies. The consciousness which is here is also the consciousness over there. So there's only the one consciousness, and that being said, there's life everywhere in the universe. And it's kind of foolish to be looking for life elsewhere with a question as to whether there is life elsewhere. Anyway, so that's an introduction to Space Ocean Corp and my philosophy as the president and founder of this space company. I approach this company as a meditation. Many different people say, if you look at a book called, many people say that, it's impossible to live past 120 years old. Some people say, 120 is a very old age. But if we go to India, they say there is a man called Tapasviji Maharaj. Tapasviji Maharaj lived to be 185 years old. And so what he spoke about in some of the lectures that he did during his long life, or some people might even say it was a short life, 185 years old, short life. If you know how to take care of the body, if you listen to people who only live to be about 70 years old, who are medical doctors and they die of cancer or something, you can respect that person. Like my dad, he lived to be 80 years old. He was a medical doctor, but he died of cancer, and he had cancer for about 18 years of his life, and he hid it from his kids. But some people might say, 70, 80 years old, that's an old age. But if you look at Tapasviji Maharaj, who lived to be 185 years old, he did a certain practice which he spoke about and taught other people, which in India, those people who have that crazy medical stuff that is called Ayurveda, he did something called Kayakalpa. And he did that twice in his life, and he rejuvenated his body. And the process he went through was to isolate himself for about 60 to 90 days in a very darkened hut out in the middle of nowhere. And he had somebody who was friendly to him bring him a little bit of cow milk, fresh cow milk in the morning. Cow milk, moo, cow milk every morning. He got that a little bit with maybe a little herbs or something, and he drank that, and that was his meal for the whole day. So he didn't do any exercise. He didn't lift any muscles. He didn't go and get some skin nourishing treatment. He didn't go and get some laser surgery. He didn't get some abdominal surgery. He didn't get plastic surgery. Well, all he did was relax, sit in a dark hut, maybe do a little meditation, focusing on his breath for about 60 to 90 days. Drank a little cow milk every morning. One of the special things about the cow milk, you might say, well, what was so special about this milk? Well, the cow was happy. Apparently, one of the things about this process is since just like people, when we get scared, we have different hormones that run through the body. And that if you want to be peaceful, happy, and relaxed, you might want to drink milk from a cow that's peaceful, happy, and relaxed. So one of the critical things that he mentioned was that the cow needs to be happy, well-fed, and relaxed for the rejuvenation properties to have maximum effect. So every day, this simple man out in India called Tapasviji Maharaj had a friend bring him a little cow milk every morning, and to the door. He didn't go outside and get the cow milk. Someone brought it to him because he had to stay relaxed. He drank the cow milk and then went back to sleep or relaxed and didn't do anything. He didn't do his taxes. He didn't look at his real estate bill. He didn't talk with his wife. He didn't talk with his husband. He didn't talk with his kids. All he did was sit and relax for 90 days. And amazingly, a lot of people go on vacation to get de-stressed. Some people watch videos or drink coffee. Other people eat some candy bars or go out and drink at the pub. But what this guy did for 90 days or 60 to 90 days was he just drank a little cow milk in the morning and then took it easy for the rest of the day. And apparently that was enough to rejuvenate his body twice in his life and live to the young age of 185 years old. And what was also interesting about this book, The Life of Tapasviji Maharaj, is that he said he could have continued the process over and over and over and over. But he decided that he had done it enough twice in his life, rejuvenated his body, and had the experience that he wanted to have here on the earth, and that he was happy to go on to the next phase of his existence within the universe. So that is a little snippet of information that might be valuable. Kaya Kalpa, K-A-Y-A, Kalpa, K-A-L-P-A. But I've studied a little natural healing, raw food type stuff. I'm not a doctor. Check with your doctor before doing anything extreme. And we do have a disclaimer at the end of this video But if you are looking after longevity and you have not yet found the spirit or the soul, which permeates the whole universe, and you only have a limited time left in your life, might be worth replaying this little section of the live stream. I can give this thing another shot here. One time I had some Q-tips and I was able to get the streak off the. I'm going to give it another shot. All right, I did it. Got rid of that streak. Now I'll go right at the light. Look at that. Yeah, our quantum existence. Yep, Liam is on the ball there. Some people might talk about some of those Kelly believes, I believe, good stuff. Kelly Talbert in the house. Good stuff. Well, subscribe if you're not subscribed. There will be more opportunities to do some of these live streams. I did buy some property here last year, in June of last year, so it's been over a year. I began renting some property near the launch site here in, I think, January or February of last year, but so it's been over a year that I've been owning property here, and we own, it's a company-owned property now, so I put it in the name of this space company, Space Ocean Corp, with the purpose of taking video of SpaceX. So I'll get on camera here a little bit. I did about a week or two ago. This is kind of interesting stuff. You might find this interesting. In the past, I have had some. I have like a 20-foot pole on the property, and I've had the camera up there doing live stream of the SpaceX. Some of the tests in the past, I've done 24-hour live streams, and I bought it is always shaking in the wind, so I had some ropes trying to hold it from shaking too much. And recently I bought some steel columns from a scrapyard at the Port of Brownsville. You can buy scrap steel, and I paid like $600, but there were 6 very large pieces of steel, heavy. And so I plan to create like another camera platform that might shake less. I was also looking for something for the solar panels, because I have like 5 solar panels now, and I don't have them all connected up because I want to affix them to the surface of something. So when I saw these large beams at the recycling center, I wanted to get them. The guy initially told me $800, and I came back and I said, "Well, how about 600?" And I got them for 600, but it's good. So I might be able to build something nice and have the camera shake less in the future. I have yet to figure out how I'm going to organize the steel girders. I'm not sure what they're called, but the large steel, and I'm excited about it. Maybe I can, I don't know if this is still an interesting shot. I can go back and get a shot of the Starship. I watched, it may be interesting, I saw another video with Elon Musk getting interviewed by Tucker Carlson today. I watched that this afternoon. It's like almost like an hour-and-a-half video. I don't know if some of you have seen that, but Elon has been inviting different, whoever would like to add video to Twitter. And Tucker has been uploading some videos to Twitter. I think Elon is inviting all different political parties and candidates to post video on Twitter. So whatever your beliefs or wish or desire for the future here politically, you're welcome to upload videos to Twitter. And but I did watch. I came across that video this afternoon, and yeah, it's a good video interview. Paperzol. Elon talked about artificial intelligence. He talked a little bit about consciousness, and Elon is starting to catch on as far as consciousness. I think what the next step for him is to have some experience out of body or some type of, and that'll be the initial thing. He spoke about possibly starting a third artificial intelligence company because I think Google, he was afraid Google was gonna get too big and be the only game in town, so he started that was his, I believe, his chat OpenAI. That's why he got involved in helping that come about or making it happen or whatever. But after he left that, I think in the video with Tucker, he recently said that he's considering or he is going to, I'm not sure if it's considering or going to, starting a third AI company, which is very interesting. You know, it's been said, if some of you are in the crypto sphere, it's been said that, and even by Benjamin Fulford out of Japan, that, and there are some other people who've spoken about it too, that there are some large AI, already some general intelligences, and that some of the people in the government and some of the other corporate controllers of the different nations around the globe, that they rely on these artificial intelligences, and that at least in the sphere of Bitcoin and other stuff, crypto, they speak about that maybe there are a couple, even some alien off of Earth artificial intelligences that are kind of warring it out here on the Earth for power. So whether or not there is a general intelligence yet or not, artificial general intelligence, if you're trying to understand more about this sector and some of the dynamics that are going on, you could look up a guy named Cyrus Parsa on Twitter, from the AI organization, I believe is his Twitter and website. The AI organization, Cyrus with a C, Parsa, P-A-R-S-A. Good guy. Interestingly, at least for me, is that Cyrus studied to be a Taoist Shaolin guy. I think it was Shaolin. Anyway, so he did some of the practices in China as far as focus and meditation, and he actually broke through and had some out-of-body experiences. So Cyrus, although he has not yet become a knower of the whole universe, has at least broken through the five senses of most scientists and people here on the Earth, and has noticed that there is a level of experience that one can have beyond the physical body. So he is an interesting person. You might see if you can find some out-of-body videos by Cyrus Parsa as well as his AI information. He's a good guy. You know, one of the initial things that is probably across the board for everybody who has a good out-of-body experience is that they get super excited about it and they like to share it, but then they're also afraid to share it. So one of the things that's unique and special about me, not only have I had the out-of-body experience, but I'm a master at it, and I'm like the best or one of the best in the world. And I've gone beyond just the adept and novice stage. I've gone beyond the practitioner stage, and I've become a universal citizen of the universe. Because when you know the reality of life throughout the universe, you no longer are a human or an earthling or Saturnian or a Enceladian or an Icelandian or a Chinese. I'm not sure what they called. We have American here in the United States. Chinean, what's the word for Chinese? Someone born in China, a citizen of China. I'm not sure what that's called. Or an Australian, something Chinan, Australian, Icelandian, Norwegian, Brazilian, Antarctican, but you become a universal citizen because you no longer have a localized body. You realize that you're just like we have non-local internet or non-local. In the whole crypto sphere, they have what is it called? something finance. It is called, where it's not out of one bank, it's not out of one country. It's something finance. So in that sense, when you become an experiencer of the universe, not like as a person, but as a being, when you become the being of the universe, you become a little bit non-local. And so that which means your identity is not simply tied to being a human or the brainwashing that you've gone through in your childhood or in your younger years, going through the different colleges and universities, which sometimes it seems are trying to brainwash people and have them think a certain way. But you become a universal galactic solar citizen of the whole universe. Because when you realize that the consciousness, not only is it across the globe, or not only with the invention of the telephone, we realize that communication could be across the continent, across the ocean. When we made boats, we realized that transportation could go across the ocean. So the ocean was no longer an impediment. And now that we have the telephone, conversation is not an impediment. But in the future, when we have out-of-body experiences and quantum communication, we'll realize that not only is communication not limited to the Earth, but localization of consciousness is not limited to the body that you're in. So these are some of the things which, when you become a universal galactic citizen of the whole universe and the solar system, not only of the Milky Way galaxy, but of every other galaxy throughout the whole universe, and not only in this physical dimension, but every other dimensional level of the universe, you may drop off your nationality, your national identity. You may no longer be focused entirely on soccer, on football, on the recent debates for the presidential elections or the local Senate or state candidates. You may in fact have a much larger interest in the whole universe, and you may, if you are much like me, choose a calling or a pathway. And the calling that I've chosen is to inspire humanity with video imagery of the oceans on the other moons and planets all throughout the solar system, from above the surface and underneath the surface, because to date in the public sector we have not had any, despite the awesome capabilities and potential and hopes of NASA and the other government space organizations, which have primarily a militaristic focus. We have yet to, in the public sector, get the video imagery of the oceans on the other moons or planets, on even just one moon or planet, on another body in the solar system. And sometimes these people, just like a librarian, there's generally two types of librarians. Librarian, like, in the old times before the internet, we used to go to the library and we used to read books and everything else. And a lot of times, if you are at a university or a city library, you have to check out the book, or sometimes you have to check out the video. You have to have your card and you can say, hey, I would like to borrow this book or video. I'm a citizen or I'm a resident of your library, or maybe you're a guest of the library. They have some good libraries here in Brownsville, and they will lend you the book. So there's two types of librarians. One type of librarian wants to get the books out to you. They're not concerned with damage to the book. They view getting the book to you and into your hands ASAP as the number one priority of being a librarian. So that is the first type of librarian. There is another librarian which likes to protect and keep the books away from the people, and does everything they can to prevent you from checking out the book and taking it away. So that is the second type of librarian. And so similarly in the space sector, in the espacial sector of the elite on the Earth, and probably of many other planets and dimensions, at least here on the Earth, we are governed by a not so smart elite who have yet to realize and notice the other dimensional states in life off of Earth. And they're also looking to protect the other moons and planets from mixing up the life here on the Earth with life which is also elsewhere throughout the solar system and the universe. So those types of scientists and elite people, many of them at NASA and some of the other locations around the globe, because they have a militaristic and control attitude, and because they are atheists, agnostics, and maybe even Satanists, they want to prevent other people from going off the Earth and having more fun than they are here on the Earth. So there are certain scientists and librarians who don't want you to get off the Earth, and they don't want you to have more fun than they are having. So they will seek to prevent you in the public sector from doing things that are already being done in the defense sector. And so that is what I have to say about that. But it is important, since we are not only citizens of the Earth, not only prisoners of this Earth life system with this level of public knowledge about the universe, if the knowledge that you are fed by those who know better is that the Earth is the only thing in the universe where there is life, and that rocket with liquid propulsion is the only fuel that we have yet developed with all the geniuses here on the Earth, then, and if that is not in fact the case, if there are much more powerful rockets, and if there is already confirmed life all throughout the universe and the solar system, which there is, then those people, instead of being enablers, would be more what are termed prison guards. And if that is the case, then the Earth, instead of being a wide expanse for play and joy throughout all that is the Earth, could also be seen as a prison. And that prison, since it is a planet, could be called a prison planet. And that has been my experience since over 20 years ago, when I had the view from out of body above the Earth, looking down at the Earth. I had the knowing that it is a prison planet. Maybe things have changed in the last 20 years. My first out-of-body experience was in 1996, and I studied at the prestigious Monroe Institute in Faber, Virginia, where many CIA and other Stargate people have gone in the past. And not only did I go once, but I went over 10 times, and I became an outreach trainer. And the magical thing about the Monroe Institute is that it does not rely on belief, but it in fact uses a sound technology which sends a binaural beat to each, isolates a sound to each one of your two ears. It can also be done by bone conduction, but it creates a vibration inside your brain which mimics the natural different brainwave states that you might experience throughout the evening when you're going to sleep. And one of the magical things about the scientific binaural beats that the Monroe Institute has created is that it creates a third wave vibration inside the brain, which mimics the natural vibrations that you would experience during deep relaxation, alpha states, theta states, and even delta states. The same can also be done for beta brainwave states. But what's magical about this scientific sound technology is that normally the brain is a analog. Normally the brain operates on an analog most people's brains aren't digital. So the brain has cycles that it cycles through. And when you're going through a deep sleep state or or a dream state or a rapid eye movement or whatever, the brain momentarily goes through these different brainwave states, and it has a kind of a analog experience connection with the universe. You might say, once you get more knowledgeable about consciousness and existence, you would agree with what I'm saying here. But what these binaural beats do, which the Monroe Institute and others have created and made available, is that not only is it a momentary experience, as happens naturally for everybody all throughout the day and throughout the night, but you can experience extended periods of this 45 minutes in the same brainwave state rather than just a moment or two naturally. So when you're listening to these binaural beats, and sometimes they overlay some music or have some audio guidance, it makes meditation more interesting. And the music allows you to focus more rather than falling asleep while you're listening to these binaural beat tracks. And just like going to the gym and lifting some weights, you lift weights with your mind and you develop the ability to focus. A lot of people have difficulty focusing, and in this day and age of different soft drinks filled with sugar and crystallized white sugar and flour, white flour, and other unnatural foods, people have an inability to focus. So these brainwave states, not only do they help you meditate, they will help you focus. And so as you have, say, 45 minutes, if you listen to a whole binaural beat track, it will give you a concentrated experience while you're awake of these deep brainwave states. And as you develop the ability to stay awake instead of falling asleep while you're listening to these binaural beats, as you're learning to relax and feel comfortable in your body in these deeper brainwave states, you develop the muscle to have better focus when you're in these different brainwave states than people normally have access to. Because normally when they get into these theta and delta brainwave states, the only time they ever experience these things is when they're on their way going to sleep. So a lot of people, when they get that really good feeling, I'm starting to let go, and it's nighttime, I'm really letting go, and I'm gonna have a good sleep. Those are when you're really entering the deeper brainwave states, which if you develop the muscle to let your body fall asleep and yet stay awake, focus on the energy around your physical body and see if you notice any changes in the energy. This is the skill that almost every other kung fu practice, every other meditation practice seeks to develop this ability and interest in the students, which go to karate or whatever dojo you go to, or whatever Tai Chi class you go to, whatever yoga class you go to. All these different practices and body positions and everything else is to get your body in a condition where it can rest, not cause you pain, and allow your body to relax while your brain and your mind still having some energy left. You don't want to do a lot of stuff that makes you mentally tired and then go and try and meditate. You want to meditate when your body is relaxed, and possibly even when your body is asleep. You could also meditate in the morning when your body has had some time to recuperate and recover. So one of the keys, one of the tricks about out-of-body experiences is that you can go to bed early, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. or whenever you go to bed, and then wake up about 5 hours later. It might be early in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning, maybe 2 in the morning. And since you went to bed at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, maybe 5, 6 hours of sleep at that time, but it's still dark, and normally you would go back to sleep immediately. But so if you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and you went to bed at 8 or 9, your body will, you'll wake up and you'll be ready to go back to sleep if you woke up in the middle of the night. So, but if you stay awake long enough to wake up your mind, go to the bathroom, maybe write something in a notebook or whatever, stay up for 10 to 15 minutes, and then go and meditate. That will be the most ideal time for you to have some type of out-of-body experience, because your body will be ready to go back to sleep. And if you stay awake for 10 to 15 minutes, your mind will have enough time to wake up and gain alertness. And then so you will be leveraging the different cycles of your body being ready to go to sleep and your mind being mildly alert. So in that little window of time, early in the morning, if you had some sleep and your body's still tired and you decide to meditate in the middle of the night, instead of just going back to sleep, you can lay on your back and close your eyes, pay attention to your breathing a little bit, and see if you notice any warmth rising up anywhere around the body. See if you notice any tingling, any energy movements, and any wavering or cocoon effect around your body. And then eventually, if you do that enough times and you let go, you maintain awareness, but let go and let the body do its thing. Just forget about the body, but stay awake consciously. You will have an out-of-body experience. And the reason I say this, the reason I can be so certain, is because everybody goes out of body every night, and it's nothing special. Going out of body is not special. If you look at brainwave states of everybody in existence, everybody goes out of body every night. The only difference, the only thing that you're leveraging by staying awake consciously while your body goes to sleep is that instead of being unconscious and entering the rest of the universe, the rest of your body throughout all of existence, you can drop your personality when you go to sleep and just dissolve into the nothingness. And that's totally legit. That's a legit way to live your life. And so you can have one side of your life which is divorced from the rest of your side of your life. So your waking life here can have a certain reality to it, and then your other life when you're asleep can have a different reality to it. So you kind of sever yourself to the awareness that you have here while you're in your physical body, and the awareness that you have throughout the rest of the universe. So, but if you decided to become whole and to bridge the two realities that you exist within, then if you did some meditation deep in the early mornings, you might start to have some, you might start to remember some of the stuff, and even better than remembering, you might actually get to participate in that other area of your life, not only initially when you pop out of your body, but also in your other travels and the other bodies that you'll end up in, and the other people and memories that you'll remember while you're out of body. So there is a whole vast experience which most people choose to separate from their waking life, but it is in fact what every scientist here on the earth is seeking to reach, yet with their short life and their strong beliefs never actually experience. That will be it. I will leave you here tonight, the end of this fun topic, and hopefully on another show we'll get to spend some time together. It's been fun for me. I love talking about these things. Someday, if you don't appreciate it now, you will appreciate what I'm talking about. Whether it's during your normal life or on the very end of your life, if you maintain some consciousness during your transition. I'll see you again, whether in this lifetime or another one. Paul S. Mamakos signing out. June 20, 2023, SpaceX South Texas launch site. I've only had the opportunity of being here over 2 years, but maybe you'll get yourself down here too and you'll see it in person, because I know you're as curious about this as I am. This is the most cutting edge public launch sector on the whole planet. And I'm here, and I invite you to come down here as well and check it out. Adios.